Hello and welcome everybody. I'm Stefan from the Graph Academy, and today we are going to take a look at Graph Horizon. So you may or may not have heard about Graph Horizon already, but in any case, it definitely makes sense to have a look at this proposal because the impact of it is quite exciting and it really has the potential to have a really lasting impact on the entire ecosystem, on the entire graph network and protocol. So it's definitely worth taking a closer look at it, which we are going to do in this workshop. So the Graph's vision has dramatically expanded since its original inception in, or I should rather say mainnet launch in 2020. And back then and since or until today, the Graph's mission was to index blockchain data and to have all of this powered by subgraphs and GraphQL. And since then, the vision has expanded to a more broader vision of servicing more Web3 data and to provide more users and more builders with more data, not just from the blockchain ecosystem, and in doing so to provide more use cases with the Graph protocol. And this, what I'm speaking about, is basically the new era of the Graph. And the new roadmap of the Graph that was published recently is introducing a very bold and transformative vision of the future for the Graph. In this future of the Graph will be addressing all data service needs, from queries to analytics to LLMs. LLMs, as you know, AI, large language models. And this new roadmap is ushering in a very vibrant future designed to empower developers and to expand the Graph ecosystem in its entirety. And as part of this new era that the Graph is ushering in, the Edge and Node team has proposed Graph Horizon, which we are going to take a look at today. So Graph Horizon is a proposal, and it's a visionary transformation of the Graph into a more permissionless and a fully modular protocol. And this fully modular protocol that is proposed will be designed to service a limitless array of data services and query languages, along with introducing several protocol enhancements and many updates. And the evolution that is outlined in the Graph Horizon proposal is for the Graph a major step toward committing unparalleled flexibility, heightened security, and enhanced efficiency in providing the world with decentralized data services. So why not have a look at exactly what Graph Horizon is? Basically, Graph Horizon is the name for a governance proposal that is setting forth the next iteration of the Graph protocol. And Graph Horizon has resulted as the result of years of research and discussion amongst the core developer teams that are working in the ecosystem and many ecosystem contributors. So basically, feedback was collected during many calls, during many discussions on how the entire protocol as a whole can be improved and be prepared for the requirements of the future. And Graph Horizon is aiming to help support the new era of the Graph, which basically introduces a dynamic modular framework for the protocol, and it makes the Graph protocol more permissionless and efficient. And there are several core ideas that distinguish Graph Horizon from the existing protocol as we know it. And for example, one addition would be, or one core idea of this Graph Horizon would be that a general purpose staking contract will be added to the protocol, but more on this later. I think it really makes sense to have a look at the Graph Horizon by an example. So in this example, we are going to have a look at how Graph Horizon is proposing to improve the network or the work of network participants. And in our example, this will be indexers. And by proposing to improve the work of network participants, the Graph is increasing modularity in the protocol. So for our example, we are using an indexer on the graph network who is equipped and ready to index a particular subgraph. Through Graph Horizon, this indexer is able to index the subgraph, can also commit to a specific indexing speed, and can maintain the service for the specified period of time. So to ensure that there is accountability in the network, the indexer needs to place a slashable cheater T token stake, and this stake is acting as a form of economic security to data consumers. For example, if the indexer is not able to provide the data within this agreement, their stake will be slashed. So it's in the best interest for an indexer to provide the data that is agreed upon in the way that is agreed upon and to serve the data accurately. And if they don't do that on a Graph Horizon, they would get slashed, which means that an indexer who does these things, who is engaging in these kind of activities, will not last in the network for too long because their stake will be slashed so many times that they are unable to continue participating in the network eventually. And if the indexer, as mentioned, if the indexer is failing to fulfill the agreed upon indexing service, they are risking to lose their slashable stake. And this mechanism allows data consumers to be confident that their subgraph will be indexed as agreed, and it also elevates the level of trust and reliability in the services that are offered by the graph network. And this is just one simple example of how Graph Horizon is able to provide security and efficiency to the network, and how it facilitates secure data exchanges, and how it offers a mechanism to allow a wide array of data services that are tailored to diverse user needs. Now let's have a look at the benefits of Graph Horizon. So Graph Horizon stands for a new level of straightforward data exchanges, as well as more diverse and tailored data services to the graph network. With the Graph Horizon proposal, the details of each data service are specified by using a smart contract, and this also includes the costs and requirements that are agreed upon by both parties, and also the indexer's expected behavior. So this clarity about service provision that is governed by a smart contract is enables trustless coordination between those who provide the data services, i.e. the indexers, and those who use them, i.e. The data consumers. And as we can see on this slide, the benefits of Graph Horizon for one are modularity, permissionless participation, cost-effective solutions, and perhaps most important of all, with the ever-growing blockchain ecosystem, interoperability. And we are going to have a look at all these four benefits in the next slides. So let's have a look at the first benefit, which is modularity. So the Graph Horizon is embodying a growth-oriented approach by embracing modularity. And this is, in my opinion, a crucial principle because the blockchain ecosystem is continually evolving towards a structure where distinct layers such as data availability, consensus, and execution are optimized for specific functions. And this modular architecture is not only enhancing the efficiency and the flexibility, but it also lowers the costs and supports a diverse blockchain landscape. And by integrating the graph within this modular stack, Graph Horizon is positioning the protocol as a key component in the ecosystem and enables seamless data querying across various environments and ensuring its really important role in the evolving blockchain architecture. And this strategic focus that is put forth in the proposal by focusing on modularity and which includes active research into modularizing indexing and querying, the graph ensures that it remains adaptable and essential in the face of rapid technological advancements that are fostering a rich environment for innovation and development in decentralized data services. So let's have a look at the second benefit, which is permissionless participation. The Graph Horizon is introducing a more permissionless environment to the ecosystem, to the protocol. And in this competitive and censorship-resistant network, there are no barriers to entry imposed by governments. Nobody is in a position to avoid participants from entering the network. And this open access philosophy of the graph is ensuring that basically anyone in the ecosystem with the drive and with the innovation is able to contribute to the graph, but also to benefit from their contributions to the graph. And Graph Horizon is improving the existing protocol to nurture a more vibrant and inclusive community where ideas are able to flourish without any centralized authorization and without any constraints, which should help in fostering a rich landscape of decentralized services. And this is the hope that this all will translate into a real world scenario where a small startup, for example, or perhaps even an independent developer has equal opportunity to contribute and benefit from the graph ecosystem just as much as a larger established player in the ecosystem or not in the ecosystem. And this particular lack of entry barriers is encouraging innovation in the ecosystem and helps to diversify contributions within the community. So the third benefit would be cost-effective solutions. What this means is that Graph Horizons design is built with efficiency and value in mind. So its entire architecture is crafted to minimize waste and to ensure that every resource is utilized to deliver the maximum amount of value to users, which are data consumers, but also to network participants and developers. And this cost-effective approach does not only benefit indexers, but it also helps end users who are able to access high quality services at a consistently competitive cost. And the focus on efficiency without compromising on quality is the testament to Graph Horizons' commitment to sustainable and accessible Web3 data services. And last but not least, we have the fourth benefit, which is interoperability. And the Graph Horizon is extending beyond modularity and simplicity and brings to the table a really, really critical feature, which is interoperability. And the ability to provide a multitude of data services in a seamless way on a single network is, for the graph, a game changer. Because this interoperability is really important in expanding the range of services and in adapting to the really, really quickly evolving needs of Web3. And it allows for diverse service offerings for faster deployment and greater flexibility in responding to user demands. And by ensuring that different services can interoperate efficiently within the entire Graph network, Graph Horizon is not just enhancing the capability of the network, but it is actively future-proofing it, making it ready for the interoperable future where there are many, many blockchains that need to be accessed. But what are the implications for network participants from all of this? So the Graph Horizon is radically improving the protocol. And for this reason, I think it's really important to understand what kind of implications all of these changes and the proposed new proposal will have on network participants and how this may even affect you in your role as a participant in the Graph network. And this evolution of the protocol is designed to be really inclusive and be beneficial for all members of the Graph ecosystem. So in the following, I'm going to show you a small overview of how the different network participants are impacted by Graph Horizon, which is, in my opinion, really important to understand. So let's start with indexers. The Graph Horizon is proposing a more flexible and efficient ecosystem, and the core change is the introduction of an immutable generalized staking contract, which allows for heightened economic security as well as permissionless addition of various data services. And this is one of the core changes that indexers will be confronted with. So indexers have the capability to participate in more data services with different stake requirements, fee structures, and rules of operation. And they can offer, or these new data services indexers are able to participate in will be offering them unprecedented control and flexibility in their role within the graph network. Next, let's have a look at delegators and how delegators are impacted by Graph Horizon. So Graph Horizon is introducing significant changes for delegators, and it emphasizes their role in ensuring economic security within the Graph's ecosystem. So in order to elevate the responsibility of delegators, the Horizon proposal is introducing a key feature, and this is really important for delegators to understand because there will be slashable delegations. So this means that in the event of an indexer behaving maliciously, whether this be intentional or not intentional, a portion of the delegated stake of a delegator can be slashed. And this change elevates the importance and impact of delegators as their stake contributes to the network's security more directly. But delegators also have more risk. They are taking on more risk because if they pick the wrong indexers, if they pick indexers that are not reliable and responsible, they face direct consequences, which was not the case previously. And so it's crucial to note that the risk to delegators is mitigated by the protocol's design, where an indexer's self-stake is slashed first. So this means that delegators and their stake will only be slashed if the indexer's self-stake has been entirely slashed. And only in cases of really, really bad and severe misconduct, where the indexer's entire self-stake is exhausted, delegators will be exposed to slashing. So this is mitigated. The risk is definitely mitigated. And this mechanism, this slashing mechanism, is expected to require minimal additional vetting of indexers, maintains a balance between security and ease of participation for delegators, but it also encourages delegators to distribute their stake across many indexers, simply to reduce the risks, which helps to foster decentralization in the network. However, the Graph Horizon also removes the delegation tax, for example, and introduces the possibility of more flexible withdrawal periods for delegators. Now let's have a look at developers. Developers who are using the graph for accessing blockchain data may benefit significantly from the changes that are proposed in Graph Horizon. And this is because the evolution towards a more modular and permissionless protocol means that developers have greater freedom and flexibility in the way they interact with the graph. They can expect to see a wider variety of data services available and also profit from efficient interactions within the ecosystem. So the Graph Horizons modular framework means the ability to seamlessly integrate a diverse range of data services into the applications of developers. For instance, a developer can easily access advanced analytics services or real-time blockchain data feeds, which enhance the functionality and the responsiveness of their dApp without the need for extensive backend modifications. And this change in particular is aimed at fostering innovation and growth, as developers will have more opportunities to build and to optimize their subgraphs and other data services within a more dynamic, decentralized environment. And last but not least, we have the data service developers. And this group will emerge as a pivotal contributor, really important contributor in a network who harnesses the open and permissionless protocol to innovate and diversify the graph network's data service offerings. So their role involves not only the creation but also the seamless integration of new data services, which are crucial in expanding the network's capabilities and utility. So data service developers also play a key role in future-proofing the graph network by continuously introducing advanced and scalable data solutions that anticipate and adapt to the ever-changing landscape of Web3 technologies and their demands, their data demands, what kind of data they need. Moreover, this contribution by data service developers helps to establish a more interconnected and interoperable network, which is fostering a collaborative environment where various data services can operate in harmony, which enhances the overall utility and user experience within the Graph ecosystem. And anyone is enabled to become a data service developer to support their preferred data service within the Graph network. And that's almost it. We have almost finished our workshop. So, as a couple of closing thoughts, um, when the Graph invented subgraphs many years ago, even earlier than mainnet launch in 2020, and introduced them to the Graph ecosystem, these subgraphs quickly became an industry standard, being adopted by nearly every Web3 builder. With the Graph Horizon, this proposal can empower the next generation of developers who are building subgraphs, but also more, to access blockchain data in whichever way is needed. And the Graph Horizon holds great potential, and it has the potential to transform data online as we know it, and will expand the graph into the modular data hub that is not just used by subgraphs or not just powered by subgraphs, but powers any and all decentralized data services. So thank you very much for watching this workshop. I hope you have now a better understanding of what the Graph Horizon is. Thank you very much.